Can you hear me? Yes, wonderful. Yeah, so sorry about that, you guys. So sometimes it will drop me. So if I get dropped, please stay. Stay. It's just the internet and Zoom because so many people are using it may drop. So let me come back to what I was mentioning earlier in case it got lost. Our invitation today is to keep an open heart, which leads us to have an open mind. By an open heart, I mean becoming aware of our tenderness, becoming aware of our vulnerability, becoming aware of our gentleness, invoking that presence through intention, exploring the ways that I can come back to my heart, to the kindness in my heart, to the gentleness in my heart. I began the talk with something that happened earlier to me where I was lost in thought. The gentleness of one of my pets brought me back. His presence and his caring, more than anything, his unconditional presence of kindness, and inviting me to what really matters. How important is this thought about the past, about a past that is gone? How important is it to focus on a future that is not yet here or attainable? How often we lose ourselves in our plans or in our thoughts of the past. Stay here. Stay in the now. And so our practice today will be on bringing that consciousness of being. So in that moment when I was lost in thought, I was mentioning I couldn't feel my body because I was in my head, of course. So one of the practices of mindfulness that can help us to come back is to feel the body and the surroundings, to become aware, for example, at that moment that I'm walking on grass, the way my feet, shoes feel against the grass, the smells around me of the fresh rain, because it's been raining, the sounds of the water as they drop from the leaves on the trees, the touch of humidity against my skin because it has just rained. Becoming aware of the through our senses is one of the ways that can help us come back. So becoming aware of our senses. So today I also invite you to experience all 5 senses for yourself throughout the day. What does this food really taste like? What does this food really smell like? What does the air around me smell like? How does the clothing feel against my skin? That's often mentioned because it's accessible right now. How does my body feel as it's sitting or standing or walking? I acknowledge my breath. Can I notice my breath? And very gentle, simple, kind ways of bringing yourself back to the now moment. Okay, so we can explore that. Yeah, the other, I'm just looking at my note. The other thing I kind of wanted to mention was a quote that I've been working with as well. And I'm going to just read it and then we'll get to do our meditation. It mentions, fill your mind with benevolence, be mindful and one-pointed, inwardly and concentrated. And this quote is by Anguttara Nikaya. Fill your mind with benevolence. It's another way of saying kindness and goodness. Be mindful and one-pointed, meaning bring our attention to one-pointed focus, which is what we're developing with meditation, and inwardly stable and concentrated, which we will be working with today. Where do I notice stability within me? Where do I notice stability? Especially in moments such as the ones we're living in now, where there is no sense of stability, or there is a lot of uncertainty in the outer world. How do I find my stability? Can I recognize it at the core of my being with my breath? And that I'm going to be giving you today. A sense of building stability at the core. Some of you know I'm a yoga teacher in addition to what I do. And in yoga, development of the core is key in holding any position. You look at a tree, for example, the stability of its core determines the flexibility of its branches and its roots. And so we're going to be working with that today, with building of inner stability. And the invitation today is, can I recognize my strength and my vulnerability at the same time? Can I recognize my sense of inner stability and remain flexible and open and vulnerable? Yeah. So we're going to work with these two energies. I often like, and we might be using this as a prompt in our meditation today, a palm tree. If you've ever noticed a palm tree, very steady at the bottom, at its roots, and its core is stable but flexible, right? So we notice the branches, the way they move against the wind, right? So there's a certain flexibility, and yet there's a stableness, not only to its root, but also to its core to be able to move, right? So holding that sense of inner stability can assist us to have an open heart and open mind, can assist us to have a sense of flexibility. Let's explore that today, okay? I would like to, I am doing things a little different today, starting with the talk, and then we're going to go into the meditation. And then we will, of course, open the discussion afterwards. I would like to see if you have any so far before we begin our meditation. Okay. All right, good. So we're going to get started. Now, a couple of things about meditation. It's all right not to see imagery sometimes. It's all right not to feel that much is happening. Allow the intention to be present with my words, as well as your breath, as well as your inner experience, whatever that might be. Surrender to what is here and accept what shows up as it shows up. The key of meditation is developing one pointedness, which means, can I bring my awareness to one single point in time and space? And two, can I be here? Can I be here? Not thinking about the next moment or about what had just happened. Can I be with me right now in my body, in this life as it is right now? And we forget. We are tempted to live in the mind. But come back so that you may fully experience your life. The place of power is always in the now. It is right now that you are able to make choices that can transform the rest of your life. Cannot change the past. And you might not be able to change the future, but you can be in the now as things show up and be able to set direction from this moment forth. And so we will work with that. Good. Good. So another thing I kind of wanted to mention is just find a comfortable position, closing the eyes. Often there are meditation teachers that also recommend keeping the eyes open or soft gaze. I will be practicing different meditation techniques in upcoming classes, some Buddhist and some secular meditation and mindfulness practices, just to invite you to consider different ways of doing it. I've been meditating since I was 14 years old. And one of the meditations that I was introduced to was guided meditation. And so this is why I often in my classes do a lot more of that, where we invite our guides and teachers and the divine presence to be here with us. But more importantly than that, what I am hoping to foster within you is your own connection with your being, with yourself, with your own heart. As I began this teaching earlier today, you carry yourself with you. You carry your own heart. Can you be with it? Can you be with your body? Can you be with yourself and feel whole within that self? Nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to get, nothing to gain, but to be with your whole inner self. I mentioned in our last class the concept of God seed within you, a seed of goodness and of kindness and of potential. Can I find that space within? And can I allow my life to be led from that space? That is the invitation. Yes? Good. Good. If at any point Zoom drops me, please maintain that space of inner silence and breath, working on getting all the kinks of technology worked out this month. So more workshops and classes coming up. I just can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. But for now, this is what we have. So if it drops me, please consider it part of the practice of tolerance and kindness to each other and to life itself, for bringing up disruptions and interruptions. So we'll begin now. So finding a comfortable position. We silence any cell phones. And closing the eyes. And bringing the attention inward. Noticing what is here right now. Becoming a witness of what is here. Observe the part of you that is aware of this moment. Noticing the palms of your hands on top of your thighs. If you haven't done so already, please place them there. Noticing the core of the body stay and steady. The center of your own being, stable and steady. Noticing the way the breath comes in and out of the body. And inviting a sense of effortlessness. How can I let go? How can I surrender? Simply witnessing the body and the witnessing the way the legs and feet feel in this moment. Witnessing the way the breath flows into the belly and chest. Observing the hands and the arms, the shoulders and the center of the chest. The lower back and middle back and upper back. Observing any sounds or any thoughts, and becoming aware of your breath as you do that. Can I allow what is here to be as it is? Resisting nothing. Changing nothing. Because it's the space between sounds, the space between sensations, between breaths. And imagining for a moment as if you are in front of a beautiful beach, sensing or perceiving the waves, the breeze, allowing your imagination to be there with you now. Sensing yourself in front of a beautiful beach. Sensing the breeze and the sounds of the waves. And sensing yourself steady as a palm tree, and perhaps visualizing yourself as a palm tree. Noticing the roots of the palm tree, steadiness, the sense of stability at the legs and the core, at the roots. Sensing the flexibility part of the palm tree towards the ground, towards the branches. Sensing the way the wind blows around it, how it gracefully moves, and how it gracefully holds steady yet flexible. Noticing where you feel that sense of stability, that sense of deep groundedness. Gently sensing the movements of the breeze of the palm tree, and quietly noticing the waves of the ocean. Softening sensing that sense of groundedness within you. Noticing the steadiness of the breath, the stability of the palm tree. Noticing a deep sense of stability at the core and at the heart of you as you experience this. And becoming aware of the changing weather around the palm tree. Noticing what it would feel for this palm tree throughout the year. Noticing rain and storms, and how it stay stable yet flexible throughout all of the changes around it. Noticing the stable core, the groundedness at its roots, and the openness of the movement of the branches and the leaves against the breeze, against the changing weather. How do I meet the changes with steadiness and stability, with flexibility and openness? Letting the imagery of the palm tree go and of the beach. And noticing yourself back. Noticing where you felt the sense of steadiness and stability of the palm tree. Sensing that strongly in the body as you breathe. Bringing that sense of calm and stability and steadiness to the heart. And observe. Noticing what it feels like to be in this body in this moment. The deep steadiness and calm. Calling a moment this week that may have not felt so flexible or open or easy. And allowing yourself to observe what happens when you think of that. Come back to your breath and the steadiness in the body as you recall it. And sense within that stability within you, your wise self, the quiet space of the witness, the observer of your life. And notice yourself aware of that situation in this moment from this place of steadiness and calm. How part of me see this situation now? And if any emotions arise or thoughts, simply witnessing them as clouds in the sky. Not attaching yourself to the story, simply observing the memory or the sensations that come with that moment. How does this wise, steady self within me see the situation now? And sense your heart, the gentleness in your own, the soft, vulnerable space within the heart. Perhaps recalling a moment of joy, a moment of love, of kindness, of intimacy. And noticing what softens, what opens. Notice where you feel that, where you sense that. And breathe into it. Who am I when I am soft, when I am gentle? Who am I when I am steady and grounded? And sensing the way the palms of the hand touch your skin. Sensing the way your body feels. Observing the breath. Observing the rise and fall of the belly as you breathe. The expansion and contraction of the chest. The silence between sounds. The space between the thoughts. Allowing the exhale to be long and deep as you notice it now. Surrendering into the quiet. The silent. Noticing the witness, the observer within you as you notice the space between thoughts and the space between sounds. Letting go every time into the silence, into the quiet. the space between sounds, the space between thoughts. Sensing yourself held silent by the quiet. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, but right here now. Aware of the space between thoughts, aware of the space between sounds. And noticing the place of steadiness, the stable space within you, the grounded place. And observing the space between thoughts and the space between sounds as you sense that. and sensing the heart. The quiet open space within the heart. And noticing the space between thoughts and the space between sounds. Surrendering. And gently becoming aware of the body sitting, of the breath flowing in and out of the body. Returning fully into the body, into the space where you are right now. Exhaling deeply. And gently beginning to open the eyes, allowing the gaze to remain soft and noticing the peace that is here, the steady and coming back fully into the room as you feel ready. And writing down your experience if it feels comfortable. Or for a moment in silence, uh, holding the and then letting it go. Returning and taking your time. As you become ready, I would like to open up the forum for any questions or comments or sharing of your experience. Please to remember, as I usually mention, these are recorded and will be shared publicly for the benefit of anybody who will encounter it. And I welcome any commentary or have. It provides us all an opportunity to learn and to grow together. So if you would like to do so, mute yourself or just raise your hand, whatever feels comfortable. Ali?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good morning.
Morning.
May I read what I got?
Of course.
And say, the palm, thanks to the storm, the rain and the wind that just passed. The storm helped the palm to go away with some heavy and dried leaves. Now the palm is lighter and looks like new leaves will grow.
Yeah. That reminds me of this too shall all things come to pass. All weathers, all seasons, all things shift and grow and continue. Nothing lasts forever.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else, please? One more? Okay. So I'd like to...
Hello?
yes?
Oh,
Hi, Elena, how are you?
hi. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to add to that because I had
Yes.
the same vision of the palm tree
Mm-hmm.
surrendering during the storm and letting go of its leaves that were no longer serving it, but that the palm remains steady and unchanged by, either through the storm or the weathered leaves when they dry and the palms fall. We observe that a lot here in Miami. So I was thinking of that, the same to be the same, that even if that we should surrender because as our leaves fall away, we remain unchanged.
Mm.
And better for it. Better for it.
I am so glad you added to that. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
No words right now. Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. The core of your being, the space of goodness, the space where God, universe resides, it's unmoved and unchangeable and steady and stable always, no matter what the storm may be. And this is a space that is within you and is accessible to you. And I believe that that might be what you are referring to, and please add whatever else you want to add to that. What they might be referring to also with that message of we go through periods in life where we encounter difficulties and uncertainty and growth, obstacles and meet what shows up with gratitude and kindness and resist it not. When we experience loss, can I face the loss as it is? I'll share an example of this. Might seem minute or small, but it's not. I a training a while back, and in this was a meditation training. There were a set of plants that I would look out the window, would always find. And you know me, I'm friends with all of nature, the plants and animals, right? And I would be very happy every time I saw the plants. And one day the light was just hitting them beautifully. And we went to lunch break and we came back and they were gone. And throughout the session, I had to look at this area where they were no longer there. And I experienced such immense, absolute sadness when I saw that. And I understand that I wasn't just mourning the plants and that there might have been something deeper within me unfolding as I saw that. But I held the sense of deep loss and longing and sadness when I saw that. And all I could do was surrender to the experience, was surrender to the sense of tears and the sense of loss and the sense of what can I do to save them or to protect them. And when I had another break, I went to the area and I saw that they had cut them because somebody probably considered them to be weeds, and I consider them to be plants and living beings. And when I saw them dead on the ground, I just recall thinking, this will never be again. Whatever this will never be. So I sat the rest of the afternoon with that, accepting what showed up as it showed up, the emotions as they showed up, the thoughts as they showed up, resisting nothing that was being experienced through me, as the imagery that I gave you earlier of the palm tree. Within the storm, allowing the storm to be as it is, allowing the rain to be as it is, being in the moment, it unfold, the good and the bad, the good and the bad, right? And the next morning, I came back, and somebody had placed new plants there. And I went to the area, afterwards, and I thought, you can't really substitute someone or something, right? But it was significant in this, that when I looked closer at the bottom, there were roots left from the previous plant. And so I smiled, and I remember thinking, haha, they're going to survive. But I thought the teaching there for me was that even it may seem to us that changes or difficulties or whatever the circumstances might be for us may seem very overwhelming and may take over and may seem like they take everything away, something remains, and something pure, and something that continues to grow. And as Elena was mentioning, the leaves fall, the tree changes, but the core remains. And in this case were the roots, and that it was a symbolism of that teaching to me. There is a goodness that cannot be harmed. There are roots within the ground and underneath the ground that might not be seen by the naked eye, seedlings that were planted way before, and right below the plant as it was cut. The other teaching that was profound to me from that particular experience was the unpredictability of life. That one day, in one moment, there it was, and then there it wasn't. And how often we count for something to be. We take things for granted. I'm not out of judgment. I certainly don't mean that by a judgment, but to watch, how often we to continue to be there, or for a person to continue to be there, or a situation to remain the same, and it is in a second, in an instant. And so how do we find our footing and our steadiness and our stability when that occurs? We find it at the core, just as we did with this meditation. There is a core, there is a steady space. The invitation of meditation is the practice of recognition of that of that steady, unmoved space that cannot be broken or unmoved by anything or anyone, anything. Nothing changes it. It's stable and steady. Is the observer, the watcher within you, the heart of you. I recall right now, it's so funny. The song by Celine Dion, My Heart Goes On. The heart goes on. The love goes on. The goodness goes on. It goes on. And invitation perhaps can be, what remains when all change? What remains when my roles change? Whatever the roles are in my life. What remains when the places change, the people change, the surroundings change? What remains? Can I belong to that? Remains? Can I to that within me? Can I feel whole and complete within that center, that space within my being? The goodness in the universe resides within you. And at that moment in time, you have an invitation to come from that space. No matter what the circumstances might be. When we encounter loss or some sort of difficulty, can I soften, as I mentioned at the earlier part of our talk today, when my pet gently and kindly me to come back to my heart, to not walk so fast because I'm lost in thought, but to be with him, to be in my heart, to be my kindness and my goodness. The invitation of returning to the present moment is to touch that space that is steady and unmoved. To sense the space between the thoughts and sounds. The space that is within you, that is connected to all beings and all things. That is and always present and always accessible and available to you. Can you return there? And so we gently practice coming back. So throughout this week, I invite you to come back to the present moment with a softened heart, with an open heart, with a heart that welcomes all that is here. That is here. With no sense of resisting, but allowing life to move through you like the wind, like the breeze against a palm tree, the changing weather, the changing of life, and still remaining who you are underneath that. You're steady, stable, calm, self. And in that, the invitation to encounter joy again and again, to encounter peace again and again. I am for your presence today. And you show up to these classes because there is a menu that recognizes the importance of connecting to the universe in a deeper way, of being present with the truth that is underneath the experiences that show up. You to step out of the mind and into your heart more often this week. With simple practices such as gratitude. Can I be grateful for what I have? Can I be grateful for the life that is here, for the things that are working? Can I notice what is here without judging it or rejecting it or resisting it, but allowing life to flow through me like the wind, like the breeze through the leaves of the tree. Good. And before we close today, we will be meeting next Sunday again at 11 a.m. I welcome you then. Any other questions? Okay, so we will close. Thank you all for having been present here. And should any questions arise, oh, please, hi, Wendy.
No, I was just going to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming. I am truly grateful. I end these classes as an experiment. You know me, right? Always experimenting, trying different things. More than anything, to share my practice, to do it together, to create a deep sense of community and belonging, and an hour together of sacredness. This is sacred to me. It's sacred to meet you in this way and to be with each of you. So, Manuela, did you have a question? Because I think I see a hand raised. Let me see.
Well, yes, kind
Hi.
of. Hi. We went through this whole thing. Of course, thank you very much for everything.
Thank you.
What I saw was, I don't know if I fell asleep or I was dreaming, but what I saw was a set of 2 feet. I don't know. It's like I was walking somewhere. I didn't see the body, but I just had those two. There was somebody with me, but it was a set of 2 feet that I saw walking with me, and
Oh.
I I don't know.
I think I know what they're talking about, but this is a great example of what I'm about to say here. The universe will speak to you, as I've mentioned in other classes, through symbolism, through words, through a word that might come through, or through an image that might come through a sensation that might come through. There's this constant communication between grace, the grace that is around yourself, and when an image is provided, stay with the image and allow the image to give you additional information. What are the feelings that are invoked within me when I see this image? Was anything said to me that also comes in with the image, but it's information that you're receiving. So I invite you, Manuela, number one, to go back in meditation to that imagery and to receive additional information from your own inner wisdom about it.
Cool.
Now, the second part to this is this. Because we are in a forum, when information is provided, the information that is being provided also keeps in mind whoever else is observing it or whoever else is part of it. In this case, it would be speaking with her and you guys, whatever that imagery may mean to you. So to me, it's helping me recall a poem. I think it's a poem or a story about the footprints and walking on the beach with God. And I don't recall the story too much, but I invite you to Google it. It's called
Sure.
And it essentially talks about walking with God and not being able to see the feet next to you because he's carrying you. You know, you only see your feet, but carrying you. And so I invite you to look into the story a little deeper because I'm paraphrasing in not a very good way. Thank you, Manuela. You're very welcome. Anything else that you wanted to add about that? Because I want to make sure I answered.
No, that's fine. That's good. Thank you.
Thank you. And anything else that arises, please email me. Okay, you guys. So I think that we are good for now. Anybody else before we close? Or we're good? Jessica? Hi.
Yes. Hi. At the end of the meditation, I did just get take what you will and heed it.
Excuse me, say it again.
Take what you will and heed it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Well, after that, I asked, like, I was trying to think it through, and it's like share with each other, sportsmanship, like, in a sense. Like the kindness, like share with each other. And I don't know, like I'm still trying to figure out what it actually means.
Okay, so I will invite you to do this. When this adds to what we just experienced with Manuela, you received words, sit with the words in your heart, awareness, and in the head.
Okay.
Because if the answer is not coming in through the intellect, it will come in through the heart. It will come in through the sense of, through the feeling that the words. See, I heard you as sportsmanship. So that word triggers deeper emotion or deeper awareness for you, deeper into it and see what that's about. Make sense?
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. So to all of you, I'll leave you with this quote. It's one of my favorite from one of my dear teachers. And I think it might connect to what you were mentioning about sportsmanship. It says, questionnaire. How are we to treat others? And the answer from the teacher, Ramana Maharshi, there are no others. How are we to treat others? There are no others. So explore that. Okay. I send you all my love and light. And I am grateful for you having been present here today. I look forward to next Sunday when we will continue to do our work. Thank you all for showing up, and please continue to do so and share with others. All my love and light. Amen. Bye.